Devin Haney's back at it with Ryan Garcia. Now they're fighting in a legal battle. So Devin Haney is suing Ryan Garcia for their fight that happened previously, where Garcia tested positive for steroids, came in overweight, and there's a whole lot of shenanigans going on in that fight, right? So let's take a look at it and see what's going on here. So Devin Haney sues Ryan Garcia for battery, fraud, and more. Devin Haney on Friday filed a lawsuit against Ryan Garcia alleging battery, fraud, and unjust enrichment, while also naming Garcia's promoter, Golden Boy Promotions, in the lawsuit, demanding a full review and adjustment of accounting for the controversial bout that now stands as a no contest. All right, so the narrative online mostly is, oh, Devin Haney is he's soft, he's suing, you're supposed to be a real fighter, you got your ass beat, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing, right? This is very similar to the situation that happened at UFC 200, I believe, UFC 200 with Mark Hunt and Brock Lesnar. So that story, Brock Lesnar tested positive for steroids before the fight, and the UFC still allowed Brock Lesnar to fight Mark Hunt with no knowledge to Mark Hunt that Brock Lesnar is on steroids. Brock Lesnar came in looking huge, massive, looked like he was on rocket fuel. And him and Mark Hunt had a fight. Mark Hunt loses the fight, and Mark Hunt is suing the UFC for like a decade, still ongoing for that situation. Now, if you look at Mark Hunt, are you really gonna say that he's being soft and it's not in his he's not his right to sue? You know what I'm saying? He was done wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's a fighter. He's a fighter, yeah, but it's not always about fighting with your fists. Sometimes you got to fight with the law, right? So as far as Devin Haney goes, you can not like him. You can think he's a bum. You can not like his style. Yeah, he came in with some goofy shoes for the fight. He should have lost the fight just because he came in with those shoes. I agree. I agree. But here's the thing that I don't agree with. Garcia came in overweight significantly. I believe he came in 3 to 5 pounds overweight. He was on steroids. There's a lot of shenanigans that he might not even show up to the fight, right? Just causing a lot of stress in this situation. And then they go in, they have the fight. Ryan Garcia whoops Devin Haney's ass. Yeah, he did. He whooped his ass. But the thing is, he was on steroids. You know what I'm saying? And now Ryan Garcia has a lot of fans, you know, and that damage that's done to Devin Haney's career can't really be undone. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney was an undefeated fighter before that, right? He goes in, he gets his ass beat. His opponent is on steroids. His opponent didn't make weight. They agreed to these terms. His opponent didn't and cheated, right? And now everyone saw you get your ass beat, and you know, you complain about the fight, which is in your right, and they make the fight a no contest. The athletic commission turned the fight into a no contest. Ryan Garcia is banned from boxing for the next year or so, right? So Ryan Garcia is clearly in the wrong, right? So now if you're Devin Haney, you know, he's getting so much hate. And if next time he fights, everyone will say, oh, Garcia, blah, blah, blah. And you got to understand, in boxing, it's important to have an undefeated record. I personally don't care if someone's undefeated record or not. It doesn't mean that you're better than someone who has a record with losses on it. But for boxing, everyone's trying to beat Floyd Mayweather, right? So for Haney to take that first L on his record to somebody who is on steroids, offering, that's a big issue. You know what I'm saying? Like you're making him lose millions of dollars. You're making him lose millions of dollars, and you're destroying his reputation. So if we look at it from Devin Haney's perspective, and the Haney camp's perspective, yeah, he's in the right to sue. The thing is, just because you're a pro fighter doesn't mean that you have to be a knucklehead and, oh, all right, well, you know, let's fight in the ring. Like, yeah, let's fight in the ring. But here's the thing. anytime, let's say Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia have a rematch, it would be a huge deal. Everyone will watch it, right? But do you really want to fight somebody who's pulling all the shenanigans like that? You know what I'm saying? And who comes in on steroids, who comes in overweight, you know? So Devin Haney's completely in the right to sue. Also, you know, he says emotional distress, harm to his reputation, blah, blah, blah. Him suing and it going public is also harming his reputation because people believe that you shouldn't sue, right? But I mean, I have to rock with Devin Haney on this one. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia cheated. He ruined dude's reputation. You know, he everyone has the image of Devin Haney getting his ass beat, falling on the mat in some goofy shoes. So now he's a joke. He's a joke in the boxing world, right? Garcia has just been going up and up and up, but he cheated, right? So that's just the way the game is sometimes. But I believe Devin Haney's perfectly in his right to put the lawsuit out. You know, it's exactly like the Mark Hunt situation. And if you have an issue with Devin Haney, are you going to tell me that you're going to keep that same attitude when it comes to Mark Hunt fighting Brock Lesnar, UFC 200, Lesnar's on steroids? Everyone knows there's tests to prove that he's on steroids, and they just hide it from Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt goes in, fights for his life, fighting a man who's juiced to the gills, and they're going at it. You can get seriously hurt in these fights, as everyone knows, you know. So you're putting his health on the line, and it's not a fair fight. You're rigging the deck. You know what I'm saying? You're rigging the deck because you want your boy to win. That's a problem. That's a big problem, and it can't happen. You know. So I think Devin Haney going in and suing, I think it's the right move. You know. It's definitely an unorthodox move. It's definitely a different move. You know, it's not necessarily like, oh, like we're fighters. This is a different business type of move. But I think it's the proper move. You know, at the end of the day, once you're making millions of dollars in the fight game, you are a businessman. You know what I'm saying? And in business, you know, if you agree to a term, two parties agree to terms, one party violates the terms, cheats, does whatever, that's always what happens. It always becomes a lawsuit in business, right? So this is just business. It's a sport, yeah. It's a fight, yeah, but it's also a big business, you know. So Devin Haney's completely in his right, and he shouldn't be getting like shamed for it. You know what I'm saying? Especially because Garcia has been on, you know, been going through mental breakdowns for the longest now, you know, going wild, going crazy. So I just want to see Devin Haney get a little bit more grace with what's going on. And I'm not even a Haney fan, you know what I'm saying? I don't really like Haney or dislike him. I don't really care for the dude either way. You know what I'm saying? But also, you know, going forward, this puts an immense amount of pressure on Haney's next fight. Let's say Haney were to fight Tank next, right? You're probably going to lose that fight. But even furthermore, you know, you've become the villain. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't like you. You know what I'm saying? People want to see you lose. You know, you fight Tank, you're probably going to lose. You know, there's only so many fights for him to have, you know, and it's going to be harder for him to get fights now, you know. And it's gonna be harder for him to have a strong fan base. You know, a lot of people don't like him. So Garcia did do a lot of damage to Devin Haney's career. He really did. And it's kind of weird to me, this phenomenon where this guy tests positive for steroids. We just kind of forget about it. It's what it is, what it is. Because with Brock Lesnar, he never got hate for the steroids that he took. Everyone knew he was on steroids. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't get the same scrutiny that someone like Devin Haney is getting. You know what I'm saying? And that's a phenomenon that we've seen. Like Lance Armstrong, he cheats in the Tour de France. Obviously, everyone's cheating in the Tour de France, but he doesn't have a scarlet letter on him. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird. You know, it's like if you win, it doesn't matter what you did to get there. Everyone's just going to remember the win, especially if it was a exciting performance or a spectacular win. As long as you win, you can do no wrong, you know? But if you lose, then you're a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if Ryan Garcia missed weight, was drinking at the weigh-in, tested positive for steroids, and went in there to the fight and got knocked out by Devin Haney. His career would be in a whole different place. He would be getting shit on from everybody. He'd be getting destroyed. So it's very interesting how a win and a loss is night and day. It's yin and yang. If you win, everything changes. If you lose, everything changes for the negative. You know, it's very, very interesting to me. The fight game is such a wild place. There's so many stories. There's so many storylines like this, and you know, it's very rare that a fighter actually will sue another fighter. You know, we've seen this with Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis. If we even want to call, you know, Dylan Dennis a fighter, but we've seen this with Logan Paul, Dylan Dennis. The way Logan Paul did it, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a different scenario. Logan Paul is suing Dylan Dennis, or his girlfriend, whatever, his wife is suing Dylan Dennis because Dylan Dennis was talking trash before the fight about his girl. I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? But with Devin Haney's situation, you go in there, you sign up to have a fight with someone who is not on steroids and who is following the rules and who signed to show up at a specific weight. You know, that's what you signed to do. Now, if you miss weight, okay, whatever. You were gonna take the purse, okay. But you hit twice. You struck out twice. You're also on steroids. Now you struck out a third time because you whooped his ass. You know, and now we have to speculate that you were only able to beat his ass like that because you were on steroids, because we haven't seen him get his ass beat like that yet. You know what I'm saying? And he's beat you before in the past when you guys were both clean. So we have to speculate that you whooped his ass because of the steroids. So that does damage to Ryan Garcia as well. But you know, Devin Haney's 100% in the right. It's in his right to sue. Just because he's a fighter doesn't mean that he can't go the business route. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, they're making millions and millions of dollars for these fights. You know, so let me know what you think. If you think this is similar to the Brock Lesnar, Mark Hunt situation in the UFC 200, do you think he's in the right? If let's say your life, right? Let's say you're a business person. If someone wrongs you in business, would you sue? You know what I'm saying? Let's say you have a convenience store, right? And you let's say you have a convenience store and you franchise it out. So you open up multiple locations. Now someone comes in and they want to join the franchise. They sign the franchise agreement, right? It has all the rules on there. We have a certain level of quality that you must maintain and you must follow. Now, this person goes off, he does whatever he wants. He's ruining your brand, ruining the franchise, you know, just doing stupid stuff. And you find out about it. The franchise owner has to sue. Otherwise, there's not going to be, repercussions. This is the equivalent to what's going on with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. But it's also some macho shit because they're fighters, right? So Devin Haney's 100% in his right, and I agree with him. To be honest, I agree with him. I'm not saying that that's what I would do necessarily, but that shouldn't be off the table. And I think going forward, a lot of different fighters are going to think twice about cheating. You know, they're going to think twice about doing weird stuff. And boxing is the most dirtiest game. There's been people who've put plaster in their gloves, who beat some guy's ass and didn't get sued for it. You know what I'm saying? So we, in the fight game, it's a business, and if someone violates the business terms, especially just so egregiously, I think it's correct. I think Devin Haney's correct. He's not a pussy. He's not a bitch. It is what it is. But that's my 2 cents. You guys don't have to agree with me. Let me know what you think. I want to know what you think. Drop a comment below. Manny out. Peace.